Okay, everyone, we all set? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Donna Colorio, the Chair of the Parking and Traffic, and this is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025, and this is a traffic and parking meeting, but it's focused on speed humps. So this is the speed humps that were suggested through the, all you guys that sent in these agenda items over the last probably like 9 months for District 2. This is just District 2. So there's 28 speed hump recommendations. So I'm just going to go over a little bit, a few things about housekeeping while you're all paying attention here. So the first thing is we will read the item in the street. And then if you want to make a comment for or against it, you come up to the microphone, you line up at the microphone, and you give us our testimony. We'll limit you to 2 minutes. We'll be a little strict today because we have a lot of people here. So we'll limit you to 2 minutes to give us your reasons why you are for or against it. And then at the end of the meeting, I will take all the items, and what I'll do is it's called file. They'll all get filed. The district counselor will be here shortly, and she'll be taking notes on all the speed humps and of all the items. And what she'll do is she'll decide with Department of Transportation a little later on in the year whether we're going to move forward with these speed humps or not. And so she'll be kind of compiling a list. So my first thing is I just want to say, I just want a roll call first, and then I just have a few more things to go over. Roll call, please.
Councilors Bergman,
Here.
King, and Chairperson Councilor Colorio.
Here. Okay, and I have with me the Commissioner of Transportation and Mobility, Steve Raleigh, the Assistant Commissioner of Transportation and Mobility, Todd Coran. I have the Worcester Police Department will be here shortly. I have AJ Pottle clerking, and I have my colleague here, Councilor Mo Bergman. And Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson, District 2, will be here shortly. Okay, AJ, could you please read the virtual attendance call-in information?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, in order to ensure active public engagement, the City of Worcester allows for both in-person and remote participation at all of its meetings. To partake in the meeting, you can either come in person or you can join via Zoom. The Zoom link is listed on the City of Worcester's website, and it's also listed on this agenda. The phone number for tonight is 1-646-828-7666, and the access code is 161-411-9888. For folks, when the item comes up that they want to speak on, we ask that you use the raise hand function on Zoom. So if you're on the application, again, when the item that you're going to be speaking on is selected, use that raise hand function in the bottom center of the screen. If you're dialing on a phone line, you would dial *9 at that time to raise your hand, and then *6 to unmute yourself. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. AJ, could you please read the approval of the minutes, please?
Order that the City Council Standing Committee on Traffic and Parking hereby approves the minutes of the Traffic and Parking Committee meeting of October 15th, 2025.
Roll call, please.
Councilors Bergman,
Yes.
King, and Chairperson Councilor Colorio.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion now to suspend the rules, and I'm going to have Commissioner Raleigh speak for about a couple minutes. Commissioner Raleigh can give you kind of an overall view of what we've done so far with speed humps and what direction we're heading to, and how many will be getting, how many additional ones do they foresee for 2026? So, Commissioner?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is I believe it's the 5th year now that we have had a speed hump installation program in the City of Worcester. It started out as a pilot program with 20 temporary speed humps that were placed in the city. And the purpose behind this program is to primarily address speeding and safety on local, typically residential streets, but not necessarily only residential streets. And they're a very effective way to do that when the conditions and the circumstances on the street are appropriate for it. So the program has grown from the first 2 years with the 20 temporary locations to the point where this year we installed 82 speed humps over the course of the year, and that was a mix of about half of the temporary speed humps and half are permanent speed humps. So those remain in place all year. You've probably seen them. They're just sort of curvilinear asphalt humps that provide the benefits all year long and don't have to be installed and removed each season. So typically, now that we have grown the program to include these permanent elements, what we typically like to do is to first trial locations using the temporary or the seasonal speed humps, and those can be in place from generally late May until the end of October, and then they have to be removed to allow for fall leaf pickup as well as snow plowing in the winter. Those locations that prove successful are then considered for permanent installations in future years. And so we collect speed data, we collect traffic volume data, we monitor crashes along the streets, just to ensure that the temporary installations are working as intended, and if they are, then they're considered for the permanent installations. Program's been very successful so far. Every temporary location that's been considered for a permanent installation, except for one, has actually followed through to that next step. So in total this summer, we have over 100 speed humps that are out on the streets at this time, considering both the temporary and the permanent speed humps. The process has been people nominate locations through the petition process, which is why we're here today. And this provides an opportunity, as Councilor Calorio said, for the public to provide feedback on those locations that have been suggested through the petition process. It allows us, it allows the district councilor and others to hear your feedback. We will do some analytical work on these locations, looking at the suitability of the street in terms of the amount of traffic, the grade of the street, the general design characteristics of the street and things like that, as well as the traffic characteristics to help inform the decision-making in terms of whether speed humps are necessary and whether they're likely to be effective in a particular location. And then over the winter, what we do is sit down with each district councilor and review the locations that have been nominated, both new locations that are being nominated this year, as well as locations that have been nominated in prior years, and develop a program from that. Now, what we found is this is a very popular program, so that means there's a lot more locations that are suggested than we're able to accommodate in any given year. As I said, this last year, we were about 40 temporary speed humps and 40 permanent speed humps. That means we were trying speed humps in about 40 new locations compared to where we had trialed them the year before. So that gives you an indication of what we might expect in any given year. We won't know until a little further in the year and we get into the budget season what kind of budget is available for this, but I would expect something in the order of another 40 new locations might be likely this year. So that's something that we'll know as we get further into the process.
Thank you, and thank you, Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson, for joining us. She is the district councilor for this district. Okay, so now what we'll do is we're going to start reading the items. When the item is read and it's the street that you want to speak on, just come up to the mic. You're going to state your name, your city of residence, and you're going to basically say, are you for or against the speed hump in this location? So, AJ, could you please read 3A?
Thank you, Madam Chair. 3A, Thomas Ayers et al. Request installation of speed humps in front of the left side of the property located at 35 Colby Ave.
Okay, come on up to the mic, state your name, city of residence, and if you're for or against.
My name is Thomas Ayers, live in Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm for it.
Okay, anything else you want to say?
I just live there. There's kids in the neighborhood. It's a straightaway street. We honestly need probably more than one, but I spoke for one in front of the property that I own. Probably should have one from the other side coming down the hill as well. Cars just fly up and down. There's a lot of kids in the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. State your name and city of residence.
Travis Burnett, Worcester, Mass.
Okay,
I'm for it.
okay,
I have kids that play on that street, and they've almost been hit by cars multiple times. So then I've been down there yelling at cars to slow down, and it's getting dangerous for the kids to play on the street.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
AJ, do we have anybody virtual?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It does appear we do have two folks raising their hand on this 35 Colby Ave petition. The first person is Wendy Mancini. I just sent a request for Wendy to unmute.
This is Wendy Mancini, but I'm not, I'm looking at the wrong one. I apologize. I'm looking at item 3C and 3N on Sherbrooke Ave. I must have bumped the button too early.
Thank you, Wendy. We'll come back to you.
Thank you, I apologize.
And the next person, it's a phone number that ends in 6893. Looks like they're also raising their hand for 35 Colby Ave. So I just sent a request to unmute. If you could provide your full name, city or town of residence, the item you're speaking on.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Are you here to speak on 35 Colby Ave?
No, I'm not. Actually, I pounded the button prior to the meeting starting because I didn't hear anything happening, and I'm looking at a different street, so
Okay.
I will.
Okay,
We'll
care of
ask you to
that when
raise
the
your
next
hand at
street
that
comes
time
up.
then. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, AJ. Can you read 3B, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair, certainly. Item number 3B, Thomas Ayers et al. Request installation of speed humps in front of the left side of the property located at Colby Ave. It looks like it was a duplicate submission, so we can perhaps move to 3C, Madam Chair.
Okay, great.
Robert Bellata requests installation of permanent speed humps on Sherbrooke Ave at the intersection of Sherbrooke Ave and Lakeview Street.
Do we have anybody here? Okay, I know we had somebody on virtual, right, first woman?
Madam Chair, that's correct. I will unmute Wendy now.
This is Wendy Mancini. I live on Sherbrooke Ave and have since back in 1980s. I am against the speed bumps. I do not believe we need them. There aren't any real children that do any walking up and down the street. The street is a very flat street. We do not have a lot of car traffic. It also ends at a dead-end road, so there's not really a lot of traffic foot-wise or cars. And I just think it's an unnecessary expense. We have not had any accidents. If anything, and we have full sidewalks on both sides of the street for walking on, so it's not like people have to be in the road, walking in the road. I just think it's a very unnecessary expense. It also adds harm and damage to your cars, even at the very slow speed of rolling over them. Shocks, suspension, etc., wear and tear on your tires. So I'm totally against them. We were not notified that this was even a project being considered. I would like to see that they be removed from the street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next person I can identify raising their hand for this item is David. If you could just provide your full name, city or town of residence.
Sure, yeah, David McCarthy, Sherbrooke Ave, Worcester, Massachusetts. And yeah, so I've been living here for about 5 years, and sort of like what Wendy said, I just don't see them as necessary. I haven't seen a lot of speed being an issue here. You might have answered one of my questions already. You alluded to that you had temporary ones at one time. But what's there now looks to me to sort of still be temporary. It's not removable. It's definitely pavement, but it looks like it was, I don't know, like he kind of stopped in the middle of the job. So I don't know if the ones on Sherbrooke Ave are finished. Is that a finished product, or is that a work in progress? Because it's pretty.
Just a minute, David. We'll ask the commissioner. Commissioner, could you answer that question?
Yeah, Madam Chair, through you, they're still under construction, so there are 2 permanent speed humps that are being installed on Sherbrooke Avenue after a trial the year before. The way they construct the speed humps is first they have to mill out 2 inches of asphalt, then they build the speed hump in 2 different pours over it. So I believe what's out on Sherbrooke currently is sort of the bottom layer of the speed hump, and then the contractor will come back in and finish it off before the end of the month.
Okay, and will the rest of the road be paved with that as well? I know you guys just did a lot of pipe work here and stuff. It's just the road in general is in very, very rough shape since all that work was done. And also just another comment is that the signs seem to be very oddly placed. They're well in advance of the speed humps. Just seems like a very strange placement for the signs.
Thank you. Commissioner, so there are speed humps on this street already?
Madam Chair, that's correct. So I
That are
think,
temporary, and this is for permanent speed humps?
no,
This-
they're
this-
permanent speed humps that are being installed right now.
So
they
why
were
is this on
selected
the agenda?
because the petitioner submitted the petition for speed humps, and it probably crossed paths with it being selected, so.
So when you have when you have opposition like this, can it be reconsidered?
No, it's under construction now.
Okay,
So-
so,
Yeah, so that was one. I mean, shouldn't we have had this meeting 6 months ago, 12 months ago? Timing
Yes.
seems odd.
yes, I have to apologize, because if it gets on the agenda, then my job is to make sure that people get heard on the item. So when I read this, it said the installation of permanent, so it must have been at the time, August of 2024. This is over a year ago that this item was on there. It could have been that it was in the temporary stage. Could that be correct?
Madam Chair, so last year it would have been in the temporary stage. We did have a meeting in the last year on the program for this current year where we would have discussed the permanent speed humps. So my guess is that this petition just sort of crossed paths and didn't get caught with that. There are two other petitions as well on our agenda that do overlap with existing installations. One of those is Coburn Road, which is also a permanent installation. The other is Hooper Street, which is a temporary installation. All of the rest are new locations.
Councilmember Carlson?
Yes, Madam Chair. This item was heard quite some time ago, so this item really, there should be a leave to withdraw because it's already been done and completed. It went through its temporary stage, and as the commissioner stated, that now it's in its permanent stage. But this item was heard quite some time ago. It was on the agenda. So again, usually what happens is there should be a motion for a leave to withdraw on something that's already been completed.
Thank you. So I can make that motion to have this item withdrawn. Roll call, please.
Councilors Bergman,
Yes.
King, and Chairperson Councilor Calorio.
Yes. Okay, the other question I have to the commissioner, and then David brought this up, is in an indirect way, is if the speed humps go on the street and people don't like them, because we know this has happened in a couple places, do they have to file a petition with the city council, go through that process? Is that the process to ask for the speed humps to be taken away?
Through the chair, I think I would encourage that, so that's one option, is people could file a petition asking that they be not continued if they're the temporary speed humps. I'd also encourage them to reach out to our office so we have a record of that and we can track that there's opposition in a particular location.
Okay, thank you. Okay. AJ, can you read D, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 3D, Nicole St. Germain requests installation of speed humps on Amanola Ave.
Okay, come on up to the mic.
3 Ebenezer Street. I'm deeply opposed to these. We don't have enough traffic to warrant them. We've done nothing to suggest we've tried any other methods before we jump to putting speed humps all over the city. They're terrible for the plows. You can't get people to plow now, never mind when you're wrecking their equipment with speed bumps all over the city. It's unnecessary. There's not enough traffic to warrant it. And I just think it's a total waste of money. We can spend money on our roads in much better places than putting speed bumps every place in the city, especially on the road that doesn't need them.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Steve Husson. I'm at Ebenezer Street also. I'm speaking against item D, E, and F. Living on Ebenezer Street would mean any way I want to go home, I have to go buy speed bumps. I also travel Coburn Ave quite often, and they're almost completing, within the 2-block radius, 4 speed humps. I think this is getting a little bit out of control, that we're just putting them everywhere somebody wants to put one. I'm glad this is an election year, and this is taking place prior, but I would also like to mention that myself also was never notified of this meeting. I found out through neighbors. Thank you.
Could you just, what is your address so we can look that up and see why you didn't get a notice?
I'm at 25 Ebenezer,
Okay.
and I'm surrounded by Amanola, Montgomery, and Rosemary.
Yeah, because, AJ, what is the, like the area that you send out the notices?
Madam Chair, the notices go directly to the abutters of the roads in which the petition is for. It wouldn't reach neighboring streets of those petitions.
It's really sort of like a cul-de-sac, even though they're separate streets. There's no way out other than that, and there may be a dozen houses on the street. It's a very small neighborhood. I just think this is overkill. How about putting a police detail there once in a while for the few people that may speed? It's really getting out of control. Every street's going to have a speed hump pretty soon.
Well, thank you. And also just to mention, this meeting has 28 items on it. And Mr. Pottle, how many notices did we send out just for this meeting tonight?
It was just shy of 4,000.
So we sent out 4,000 notices for this meeting. So I think they try to do the best job they can.
I'm 100 feet from all of these streets, and I wasn't notified. So
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, okay.
Hi, my name
sir.
is Stephen Belton. I'm at Montgomery Ave, and I'm also against these speed bumps on Amanola, Rosemary, and Montgomery Ave. There's no reason for them. Their streets are so small. They're almost dead-ended. Again, like it is like a cul-de-sac with a U, and some of these streets are going across, so there is no reason for these short streets to have any speed bumps.
Thank you. Okay, do we have anybody virtual?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It looks like we have a person named Tom. Just if you could provide your full name and city, town, or residence prior to your testimony.
Thomas K. Card, 14 Amanola Ave, Worcester, Mass.
Tom, are you for or against the speed humps?
I'm for them.
Okay,
Thank you, Tom.
I've seen people speed, some people are going as fast as 40 miles an hour. I've been almost hit. I've been living on the street for 10 years. We have signs posted, 20 mile an hour limit, which is totally ignored. I've seen FedEx trucks speeding. I've seen even school buses speeding. I've seen a lot of people get close accidents because people just plow, just self-entitled people just don't obey the existing rules. I don't want to end up as a statistic. I think they need to have speed bumps in the Amanola Ave for the safety of myself and other people that live here.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, anybody else on this? Okay.
Madam Chair, it appears Wendy Mancini has raised her hand again.
Oh, okay, all right.
Madam Chair, I'd like to just go back to a couple comments that you had before. They mentioned that these were temporary ones that were put in a year ago. I know Candy had said that this was started and discussed or whatever back in like last year, but we were never notified of anything. Yes, they've been doing a lot of construction of pipes on our street, but again, on Sherbrooke Ave, so for them to just go ahead and make these temporary speed bumps that we assumed were going in because of workmen doing a lot of work and then moving it on to permanent ones without notifying us, I think is absolutely wrong. I think that as paying residents and tax-paying residents, we should have been notified, considering And I also agree with several of the other gentlemen because my street connects by Anna, which then goes to Colburn. So I, like many of these other residents, no matter which direction you go in, have speed bumps that you now have to contend with. I think it's, in our streets, in our case, like I said, have fully wide sidewalks, so there's no need for them. People aren't speeding, I've never seen any speeding going on. So I'd like to find out from who that I need to file a complaint. And yes, I want the speed bumps on Sherbrooke Ave removed. So if I have to file a petition or a complaint, I would like to know, be told who to get in touch with. Thank you.
Wendy, you can get in touch with the commissioner, right, Steve? Would that be the best place to?
Madam Chair, yeah, we'd be happy to follow up with the resident. So the easiest way to reach us is at our email at mobility@worcesterma.gov, or our phone number is 929, I'm going to forget it, Todd, 929 1300, extension 49500.
Thank you. Okay,
And that's also available on the website if people want to look it up there.
okay. So E, could you read E, please, Mr. Pottle?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nicole St. Germain requests installation of speed humps on Rosemary Street.
So we already heard of another person that opposed this from the first group of people. Anybody else here specifically for Rosemary? Okay, anybody on anybody virtual? You okay? Okay,
Madam Chair, no one's raising their hand at this
Okay.
time. Oh, we have one person raising their hand now.
okay.
Ending in 6893, just sent a request to unmute.
Hello. I'm responding previously to Sherbrooke Ave as well. I tried to pound 9 and it didn't work, but now it's working. So I'm opposed to the speed bumps on Sherbrooke Ave as well. My name is Paul Annett. I've been living here for 40 years, and I've never seen any issues whatsoever with excessive traffic or any reason to install speed bumps, one, let alone one or two. The temporary one that was put in was only one, and then now we have 2 permanent ones that are almost next to each other. Nobody speeds on this road. There are no children playing on the road. I never see anybody on this road, and I've been here for 40 years. The only time I see anybody on the road is after work when they're walking their dogs and they're walking on the sidewalks. It's completely unnecessary and a waste of taxpayer money, and I would like to file a petition to have them removed.
Okay, you can do that by calling the clerk's office in the morning, and he can, Mr. Pottle can, talk you through it. Thank you.
Yes, and I'll also rally the rest of the people on the street to join in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Mr. Pottle, can you read F?
Thank you, Madam Chair. 3F reads, Nicole St. Germain requests installation of speed humps on Montgomery Ave.
And we already had 2 people opposed to that, okay? More, okay?
Yes,
More
Brian
people
Nelson,
that-
Ebenezer Street. I'm opposed to having this put in as well. And by the way, I walk every night with the gentleman I was sitting with our wives. And if we saw 2 cars a night, it'd be a miracle. It's just unwarranted that we're throwing these up without doing anything else ahead of time. It just makes no sense. It's not a thorough way. You can't get out of there without going in the same way. I don't understand the illogic of us entertaining these ideas without even doing any pre-work to understand whether it's even something that makes any sense. You would think you would do a traffic study, or you would do a speed study, or you would do observation first before entertaining talking in the public about putting in these things, when you could have easily seen that it's a colossal waste of taxpayer money to put these in some of the streets that you guys are suggesting, or that people are suggesting, because we have 1 or 2 people that occasionally speed. I mean, it's just fundamentally a waste of my taxpayer money and a lot of other people's too.
Thank you. And that's why we have this meeting tonight, so we can have people speak up, because I want to hear people, And then and this gives the commissioner an insight on who lives on these streets and what their opinions are and what they think they should or shouldn't have. Yes.
Brianna Belton, Montgomery Ave. We've lived there for over 20 years, and the traffic is limited just to mostly the people who live on the streets. And I see people when I'm sitting at home looking out the window, there are people walking at all times of day and night, and there's not that many cars there. A speed hump, I don't even know how you could put one. If you put one with the 4 streets that go on one side, and then with all the driveways on the other side, on both sides, is a speed hump going to be dangerous for people trying to turn into either Ebenezer or Kittery or Rosemary or the other streets, or people turning into the driveways? We have a lot of elderly there, so there's a lot of ambulances that come up and down the streets, which, how does that affect going over a hump when you're having a heart attack in an ambulance? There's no reason for it. I mean, you could do a traffic study, put up signs, speed limit. There's really no reason for it. It's a waste of time when there's other things that the money could be used for. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. G.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 3G reads, Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests installation of speed humps on Hooper Street.
Okay. Anybody here for Hooper Street? Okay. Anybody virtual for Hooper Street?
Madam Chair, no one is raising their hand at this time.
Okay. Can you read H, please?
3H reads, Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests installation of speed humps in the vicinity of 226 Coburn Ave.
Anybody here for Coburn Ave? Anybody virtual for Coburn Ave?
Madam Chair, no one is raising their hand for
Okay.
Coburn Ave at this time.
I, please.
3I reads, Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests installation of speed humps on Alvarado Ave.
Okay. Anybody here for Alvarado Ave? Okay. Okay. J, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and no one is raising their hand for that either. 3J reads, Talia Trotta and Anthony Giangregorio request installation of speed humps at 729 to 759 Franklin Street.
Anybody here for Franklin Street? Anybody virtual?
Madam Chair, we do have a person raising their hand for
Okay.
Franklin Street. The name is Emily. If you could just provide your full name or state of town or residence.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We can, yes.
Okay, great. Hi, my name is Emily Aniello. I live on Franklin Street in Worcester, Massachusetts, further down from where those speed humps are. The installation of the speed humps primarily because the state of the road in that area is already extremely rough. Not to mention that when there are games at the ball field directly across from it, it essentially becomes a one-lane road, and having people trying to navigate that.
Emily, we're having trouble hearing you at this time. I'm not sure how your service is, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, yes.
Okay. Sorry. Just to reiterate that I am against it because of the condition of the road and the fact that when there are games at the ball field, it becomes very hard to navigate. It essentially becomes a one-lane road. If there's any money to be spent on that area of the road, it should be in fixing the road itself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, no one else is raising their hand on that issue at this time.
Okay. Mr. Pardo, could you read K, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. 3K reads, Douglas Dos Santos requests installation of speed humps at the corner of Lakeview Street and Alvarado Ave.
Okay. Can you read?
And Madam Chair, we do have a person raising their hand on that item.
Okay.
Looks like Japhne Rude.
Hi, I'd like to voice support. Can I voice support for that?
Okay.
You may, of course.
Okay. I live in that neighborhood, and when the speed bumps were put on Coburn last year to test them, it diverted a lot of traffic to our street. People who could no longer speed on Coburn decided to speed on Alvarado Ave. Moreover, there are a lot of Lakeview school students in our neighborhood who walk to school. And I'd love to see traffic slowed down on our street to make it safer for those students. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pottle, can you read L?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes. 3L reads Pedro Romero requests installation of speed humps throughout Plantation Street.
It would be nice to know what that really means. Plantation Street runs from, 290 to all the way to, Rice Square. But again, I think these generic petitions of put a speed bump everywhere is a colossal waste of our money. And further, on the lower part of Plantation Street, the road is already so narrow as it is with cars on both sides of the street. You're going to add another hazard of people trying to get over speed bumps to go down the road. It's stupid.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, we do have one person raising their hand. Looks like
Yeah.
Jessica Seidenberg just sent a request to unmute.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I live on Plantation Street, adjacent to Tampa Street, and we have a lot of children in the neighborhood who frequently run across the street in order to go to the park that's nearby, and people do speed quite often on Plantation Street, and I'm in support of adding speed humps along this area, along this street.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Madam Chair, looks like there is one other phone user. The phone number ends in 4559. I just sent a request to unmute now.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Just please provide your name and city or town of residence.
Mario, Burkfield Street. What I'm checking to find out, I must have missed something because I'm still waiting for 3AA. Did I miss that?
No, 3AA hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Mr. Pottle, can you read M?
Thank you, Madam Chair. 3M reads Francine Murphy requests speed hump installation on Plantation Street in the vicinity of St. Francis Rehabilitation and Nursing Center located at 101 Plantation Street.
Okay, anybody virtual?
Madam Chair, not at this time.
Okay, can you read N?
3N reads Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests installation of speed humps in the vicinity of 34 and 36 Sherbrooke Ave.
Okay, can you read O?
Of course. 3O, Vanessa Ann Cimarano requests installation of speed humps on Prentice Street.
I think we have some people that wrote in that I think we have, you have copies, Commissioner, correct? Okay. And Councilor, you have it too, so. Okay. Anybody online?
Madam Chair, it does look like we have a person raising their hand on this one. It is Vanessa Cimarano. I just
Okay.
sent a request to unmute now.
Okay.
Vanessa? Madam Chair, it appears Vanessa is having issues with audio. They are unmuted, but we're not hearing them. So if you'd like to move on, I'm not sure.
We can go back to that if
Okay.
she can figure it out. Okay, how about P?
3P reads Mark Paldino requests installation of a speed hump in front of 9 Superior Road.
Anybody here for Superior Road? Okay. State your name and city of residence, and if you're for or against this.
My name is Marcia Maldonado. I'm forward to it, but
Go ahead.
unless the speed bump is not near to my driveways. I got 2 driveways. Now, if they put it in the middle of the driveways, in the middle of the street, there's no problem. also are required to do a feasibility study before it become permanent. Monitor, like temporary. right?
Temporary one.
Yes,
Okay.
before it get permanent. But definitely, I'm forward to it.
You're for the temporary one?
I'm forward to the temporary.
Yes, okay.
And as long that is between my driveways,
Between your driveways, which is, what number are you on?
a Superior Road.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
about when the nice Superior Road tree, right there.
Okay,
I know exactly what it should be. Thank you.
thank you. Do we have anybody else? Mr.
Madam Chair,
Pardo?
we do. It looks like there's a person, Carlos Morales. I just sent a request to unmute to Carlos.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, I lived at 5 Superior Road for 33 years. In the last 25 years, I noticed the speed increases from the Ubers, taxi drivers, whoever drives through the neighborhood. I live close to the corner. You come around the corner. During the summertime, the children are out playing. North High School is behind I call North High School my backyard. And we get a lot of high school kids coming through the neighborhood to make that shortcut. I would love to have a speed bump so they can at least slow these people down. When you get Ubers, UPS, FedEx, and Amazon, I know they're in a rush to do delivery, but we don't want anybody to get hit. So I'm for that speed bump.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam
Thank you,
Chair.
Ben.
The next person I can identify for this particular street, looks like they're only on an iPhone. They don't have a name listed. But I just sent a request to unmute. If you could please provide your name and city or town of residence.
Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm Mark Paldino. I live on 9 Superior Road. And we do have a lot of traffic that comes up this road, and they speed up and down this road. People that live above speed up and down this road. And then I'm actually the one that put in for the speed bump. And I wanted it like right in between my house. It'll be in between my neighbor across the street, between her 2 driveways. It won't affect her driveways at all. We do have a lot of kids in the neighborhood. My grandkids are always over my house.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next person I can identify, listed name is Mac. Again, just please provide your full name.
Hello?
Hi, Mac. Could you please provide your full name and city, town, or residence before providing testimony?
I'm sorry, this is not Matt. I don't know. It's Mac. That's the computer, probably. So anyway, this goes back to Sherbrooke Ave. I've been trying to get into this site for as long as you've been running this meeting. So can I, my opinion, please?
Sure thing. Could you please provide your full name?
Absolutely. Robert Pasquarelli, 18 Sherbrooke Ave, Worcester, Mass.
Okay, in your testimony?
I tell this, the issue we have on Sherbrooke Ave, okay, is the vehicles that are coming off Lake Ave at a high rate of speed, like it's an off-ramp on the highway, come up over that hill. I have videos, I'll be more than happy to supply anybody of these people hitting the temporary speed bumps, okay, at minimum 40 to 50 miles an hour. The perfect time of this being done is 3 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday, obviously when people get out of work. So they're using this as a cut through to go up to, take a right on the inner, go up to Coburn Ave where there's more speed bumps, okay? That's the issue. Now, I've been requesting these speed bumps for a couple of years. Candy Carlson's been very helpful with this situation. And the person, Wendy Mancini, who lives on, I think, 50-something Sherbrooke Ave, lives at the end of Sherbrooke Ave after Anna Street, which is a dead-end street. So she wouldn't even see these people coming off of Lake Ave, okay? We've got a serious situation here. At the corner of Sherbrooke Ave and Lakeview Street, there's crosswalks that were probably painted 10 years ago. They're all faded out. Across the street from my house, we have multiple children riding bicycles every day, okay? Eventually, one of them's gonna get hit. Now, I can make a recommendation on how to fix this problem. Either you make,
Can you wrap it up? Because we have like a 2-minute limit tonight.
I got a 2-minute limit, yeah. So, we make it one way from Lakeview Street down to, Lake Avenue, recommendation. That's all, this is a recommendation. But I think you should really do a speed study of what's going on down here. And I will supply you videos, okay? If you need them.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Good thing I have a good sense of humor, huh? Okay, do we have anybody else?
Madam Chair, we do. The next person raising their hand on this for Superior Road is Robert Bellata. Just send a request to unmute now.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Rob.
Thank you. No, I was just wanted to follow up on what Rob before me had mentioned about the speed humps on Sherbrooke Ave. That's why I had did this petition last year. I think, you know, the Lakeview neighborhood in that area, I think has been, you know, I know there's some new stuff going in, but I think it's been a long time coming. You go around WPI and there's, you know, really a stop sign on every single corner surrounding that campus. I think our, you know, neighborhoods that have schools in them should be just as safe. So I'm excited to see that these things are happening in the neighborhood, and just wanted to hopefully see how they can continue. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now, are we all set, Mr. Pottle?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes,
Okay, so you want to read Q?
certainly. 3Q.
Oh, wait a minute, oh, do we have more? What street? Not yet. We're on Q. What number is it?
Madam Chair, I believe the person's speaking to V, which we'll get to at a later time.
V, almost there. Okay, almost. Yeah, we're on Q. Okay, can we read Q?
Thank you. 3Q reads, Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests installation of speed humps on Indian Lake Parkway with a specific focus on placing said speed humps at a downhill location of the road.
Okay, hi, state your name and your city of residence, and you're either for or against.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. My name is Carolyn Hoy. I'm a resident of Worcester. Although I understand the importance of speed bumps, in this particular scenario on Indian Lake Parkway, I am firmly against temporary or permanent speed bumps, and it's for a number of safety reasons. The first safety reason is that we have a lot of water that pools at this area. That when we have flooding problems already, speed bumps are going to exacerbate that issue. We also have very limited parking in this area, and we've had repairs done to our water pipes, and we've had gas issues on this street in this specific area. Adding 2 additional speed bumps in this area when water issues and gas issues have not been, these issues have not been completely resolved, would be ill-advised at this time for the city to invest in that area. Although we do understand that in this area, yes, it comes down at a downward slope, and I reside in that area and have been there for a very long time. There are questions about whether it's truly safe for individuals and children going to school. The major issue, in addition to the water issue, is our sidewalks were ripped up, and they have not been returned with the correct amount of cement in those areas or asphalt, and therefore they're not safe for students to walk to school, which Forest Grove is down the bottom. So if you have sidewalks that are not usable, and many students do use the roads in these areas, adding speed bumps and additional barriers to be able to see and have cars and obstructions in this area becomes wildly unsafe for students around the area and for residents in the area. Thank you for your consideration and my opposition.
Thank you. State your name and city of residence.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Michelle Sloan. I live in Worcester, Mass. I'm a resident of Indian Lake Parkway. I am opposed to the speed humps on this street. I believe they pose additional safety concerns just to navigate the street as it's a split-level road. Again, it is on the lake. It will cause more drainage issues, flowing into Indian Lake, and I am firmly opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, state your name and city of residence.
Michelle Stram from Worcester, Mass. I'm also against them. If you're familiar with Indian Lake Parkway, you have to take a very sharp corner just to get onto the street. So it's impossible to start at a heavy speed, otherwise you'll go right off the road. And then again, with the drainage issues, and it's a very narrow street, we have a lot of problems in the winter with the plowing, especially when it comes to the end of the street, because you've got one way going up, another one coming down, and the snow gets stuck in the middle. And there's no way for them to push them because you've got cars on both sides, upper Indian Lake and then lower Indian Lake. So I'm definitely against it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Anicia Buesso. I live on Indian Lake for a very long time now. It is a one-way street. In the winter time, it's almost impossible to go fast on that street. It goes down, and with snow, ice, either you're hitting the wall on your left or you're hitting cars on your right. So you have no other choice but to go slow. And if we're talking about spending money, please install light at the end of that street, because when we're walking our dog at 6 at night, it's pitch black, and past that divot on Indian Lake, there's no more light. We rely on our flashlight or on our phone over house on either side. So one-way street, no issue so far. Yes, some cars go fast, but we live on that. There's not a lot of traffic during the day, maybe a little bit in the morning. Nothing that necessitates a speed bump. So I am firmly against that. Thank you.
Councilor Mara Carlson.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Raleigh, if you could speak to your findings over there on Indian Lake Parkway. And again, just so people recognize that what happens is somebody calls in and asks me to petition it for them. So that's what I do, and then it's for the Commissioner and Department of Transportation and Mobility to go over there and look and see, is it something that is doable, or is it something that's warranted? Because obviously, as you can see from tonight's amount of speed humps, everybody wants a speed hump because they think it's the answer to everything. And I'm not the one who gets to make that decision because I'm not an engineer. But when a constituent calls, I put it on because they asked me to, and then it gets referred here. And these two gentlemen, Commissioner Raleigh and Assistant Commissioner Todd Corain, they get they go out and collect the data as well as look at the road to see if it is feasible. And I know that I had spoken with Commissioner Raleigh on Indian Lake Parkway. So not that I'm looking to put you on the spot, but if you could just share with the group tonight your findings on Indian Lake Parkway.
Through the chair. Yeah, through the chair. So we have taken a preliminary look at all of the locations that have petitions. This is really just a starting point in the process, and obviously public involvement is important as well, in hearing from people who use the streets and live on the streets. But for Indian Lake Parkway, a couple of things we've noticed in our early look at it is that in general, the traffic speeds seem to be pretty well controlled already along most of the streets, and I think that's because of the narrowness of the roadway, as has been indicated by a number of the people who spoke on it. The one area where I think there is some concern is sort of toward the north, the top part of the roadway. But that portion is too steep to have speed humps. We can only apply speed humps on streets that have less than an 8% grade for safety reasons. So probably isn't going to pan out from an engineering perspective to be a great location for this particular type of treatment.
Thank you. Okay, is there anybody else that wants to speak on this virtually, or?
Madam Chair, no one is raising their hand at this time.
Okay. Okay, can you read R, please?
Sure. Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests installation of speed humps in the vicinity of 57 Ingleside Ave.
Come on up to the mic. State your name and city of residence.
Carlin Hamilton, Worcester, Mass.
Okay, you for or against this item?
I'm for it.
Okay, can you want to state your reasoning?
Yes, the reason is between Plantation and Dartmouth Street, it's a good distance, and there's only one stop sign, it's at Dartmouth Street. So by the time they come by our house, the speed is 40, 45, and the stop sign, there was an accident about a month ago where a guy was going so fast he went right through it, hit a car coming up Dartmouth Street, and put him against the wall across the street of Dartmouth Street. So the speed is pretty bad on Ingleside. And I think it would be a good idea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else on Ingleside? Okay,
Madam Chair, we do have one person raising
Okay,
their hand.
great.
Let's see here. Bob Mulrain just sent a request to unmute.
Good evening. I'm Bob Mulrain. I've been a resident of Ingleside Ave for almost 30 years now. And I'm up on the top end of Ingleside Ave, which is a two-way between Clarendon Street and Plantation Street. And I'm opposed to putting that speed hump down there. That should be moved up to around 23, 27 Ingleside Ave, because there's a stop sign down there, like he said. But up here at Clarendon Street, they race down the street here, and they're just flying down here. And we're on the two-end part, so they should really realign Ingleside Ave to make it a one-way all the way down from Plantation Street right down to Hamilton Street. And like I say, from Clarendon Street, between Clarendon Street and Plantation Street, the end I live on is a two-way, and it's too narrow to have cars there parked across from each other, but it is a very narrow street.
thank you. Mr. Pottle,
Well,
anybody else?
Thank you, Madam Chair. That is everyone.
Okay, so can we read S?
Of course. Brenda Hagan requests installation of speed humps on Schaffner Street. And it looks like subsequently, a couple months later, there was a duplicate petition T that was also for Schaffner Street.
Okay, do we have anybody here for Shatner Street? Yes, come on up, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Paul Reith. I'm a resident of Schaffner Street. I've lived there and own a three-decker there for 30 years now. I think I agree with the other gentleman that were here. I'm against the speed humps. It's a very short street. I think it's like 350 yards. There's already in an adjoining street, Uxbridge Street, already has 3 speed humps. I actually, for the past 23 years, travel 1.3 miles to my job next to Memorial Hospital. And in my travel in one day, I'm traversing those 3 speed humps 12 times. I come home for lunch. They are excessive. I feel that I agree they're an absolute waste of money. And I'm actually reminded of a quote, hearing that the commissioner has mentioned that they're thinking of installing, they're going to be up to 100. And I don't know what other things they've done. We've already lowered the speed limit to 25 miles an hour. But I think of the quote, if you only have a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail. And these speed humps, this is what I feel like this has turned into. It's just ridiculous. Schaffner Street, if they were to put them in the spots that they want, one of them would be 20 feet away from the exit of 299 Lincoln, which is a medical building that travels off onto Schaffner and goes out. The other one at the other end is right before the turn to that Uxbridge Street. That would be 5 speed humps. I measured the distance between Schaffner Street and the end of Uxbridge Street. It's about a half a mile. 5 speed humps 1/2 mile. I think that is ridiculous. There's just, the city is just, this is getting crazy. And I looked at the commissioner's data from Uxbridge Street, and the average speed on Uxbridge Street was 22 miles an hour. It's been reduced to 16. The speed limit's 25. Is the commissioner saying we should be driving 16 miles, the speed limit is now 16? I do not understand why this is going so excessive. The other issues are it causes problems. The streets are narrow. They're 25 feet wide. With a car parked, they're 18 feet wide. That means in the winter, our streets, the plowing is terrible. They make 1 pass, 2 pass. It's been known that it affects the plows. They cannot plow effectively. There's going to be freezing. It's noted by the Federal Highway Administration and the Mass DOT that these speed humps actually delay emergency vehicles 3 to 10 seconds per hump. So if someone's going down that street and there's a hospital right there, an ambulance or anything, they're going to be having to go over five of those humps. The other issue has to do with the noise level. It's been shown that the noise level goes 30 to 40 decibels higher because of people going over the humps. They slow down, then of course they speed up. They go to the next hump, they slow down, they speed up. On Flag Street, I've talked to several people that live over there, and they can hear trucks. One person made a comment saying they can hear all the landscaping trucks and utility trucks, and they said, I'm thinking we're in our backyard, we can hear it so loud, the crashing, whether they're going slow or fast. They thought about going down and seeing if there was any weed whackers and lawnmowers that fell off their trailers. It's getting out of control. I feel that there should be alternatives. One of the things that I've noticed in the city, which I personally pay more attention to, is the digital speed limit signs that flash saying that you're going too fast. And I think that would be more effective on such a short street. I don't think that speed humps are the solution. They're 13 feet by 21 feet on a 25-foot street. And I think it's, the cost I think is excessive. So I think that we should be considering other options. And I also want to take a moment to mention one thing to my neighbors, to the councilwoman, and my new neighbors and old neighbors. Speeding, it's not that I'm against speed control or anything in regards to safety in the city. It's personal to me. I lost my dad to, my dad was walking across the street with a loaf of bread and was killed by a speeding drunk driver. So I can tell you that, yes, I think it's important. And the man was on a motorcycle. My dad was thrown 30 feet in the air, is how fast he was going. Schaffner Street, I just do not feel, yes, we have times when the traffic and the speed is going, people are, but even 25 miles an hour, we've stood there and noticed 25 miles an hour, it appears fast to the people that aren't traveling it. So I just, I appreciate your time, and I think that I'm against it.
Thank you. We appreciate your testimony. Thank you. Okay. Any more Schaffner Street? Okay, come on up.
Janice Evers, 9 Schaffner Street. I agree with my neighbor. I think that there are other alternatives. I don't think speed bumps are the answer to all problems. They may in some cases, and I believe safety is an issue. Speeding is an issue. But I've lived there for 50 years, and we don't even have a sign that says go slow. And I've seen 25-mile-an-hour signs on North Parkway next to the old State Mutual building, which to me, it's not heavily populated. We are, a residential area. We have hidden driveways. We don't even have a sign. I agree with the other gentleman that spoke about a waste of money. It's a solution that, to me, should be handled by local police. I mean, that's what we have them for, safety. I have never seen a police car on my street give out a ticket or to investigate. I don't know I think there should be a study. I don't know what the commissioner's report says. Will we ever, if we're not here, will we ever hear what his commission with the report says? I don't know.
Commissioner, do you want to answer that, how people can
Yeah,
get some?
Madam Chair, as we've indicated, this is a very early step in the process where we're gathering public feedback on all of the petitions that have been submitted. Every year we do submit then a report to council after we've conferred with the district councilors that in detail looks at the new recommendations as well as the performance of the speed humps that have been installed in previous years. So those are prior year reports are available online, attached to the council agendas. And the forthcoming program will have a report before it goes forward with any specific recommendations as well.
Okay, and may I ask, who does a study? And are there people monitoring the speed on Schaffner Street? I've never seen anybody in that area. We have a lot of congestion with medical buildings, Britton Square. I've never seen anybody study what is going on.
I believe that, in the commissioner can just say what the thing is, what's happening is that there's a variety of different areas that we evaluate.
Mm-hmm.
One could be a study, one could be observation, one could be putting the speed monitor up, one could be police. There's always a combination. So on this street, I'm not sure what the combination, but this is like the very initial phase. So
Okay.
this is the gathering of information from residents. That's why I did this meeting. And it's okay that people disagree. It's okay that people agree. We want to get a idea. Council Merrill Carlson wants to do what's best for the district. She wants to understand because she can't be at every street all the time, but she probably is in every street all the time because she's always around. But I mean, she's here listening to say, what do the people in my district need and want?
Yes.
And this is what we're doing, and this is great input to us. And it's great input that you are voicing your opinion for opposition or agreement. It's
Yes.
just part of the process, and we want to do what's best.
Okay, and I do too, and I appreciate Candy Merrow's.
Okay. Council Bergman, did you want to say something?
I did. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to weigh in a little bit because I see we're getting down our list, and something I think it's worth mentioning. I've listened to a lot of comments, and I think there's a couple things that we want everybody that's here and listening to know. Yes, there are close to 100 speed humps, but there's also hundreds that have been rejected. None of us here think that speed humps is a solution every time, but I'm reminded of that Yogi Berra saying where he said, nobody goes to that restaurant, it's always full. We are here because we are inundated with people requesting speed humps. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a list like this. This is only one district. There are 5 districts, so there are dozens and dozens and dozens of other districts. So some people do feel that it's helpful, some people feel it isn't. And that our job is not to tell somebody we're not going to put it on the agenda. Our job is to respond to the constituent and then listen to everybody in the neighborhood. And that's what we're trying to do our best. And obviously, for those of you who took the time to be here tonight, we are grateful that you're here and for your input. You can see that not everybody's for it, not everybody's against it. Our job isn't easy. Sometimes, we disappoint people the minute we make a decision because half the time people are against the decision we make and the other half of the time people are for the decisions. But we try to do the right thing. So I was an early proponent of the speed humps in situations where it makes sense because there were suggestions about having police. Police have priorities, and although public safety is included in traffic, there's also lots of crime in a major city that we have to make sure we have enough police officers. So we're not going to have a police officer on every street that has speeding. It just doesn't work that way. The mobile devices, they're expensive. If I recall, they're about $10,000 each. I also agree they work well if you're going a little fast, but we don't have enough of them throughout the city. I think we have somewhere between 5 and 10 of them. Maybe the commissioner can weigh in on that.
Through the chair, I think Sergeant Foley may be online, and he'd have a better sense of how many the police department has. We also have the option of deploying permanent ones, which, again, though, there's a cost issue with those, and you can't put them everywhere.
So I don't know how much the speed humps cost, but they're not necessarily more expensive. I'm not saying they work every time, but there's a cost associated with almost every option we try to put in place. So it's important for us to hear what you have to say, because maybe when we thought their speed hump might be the solution, maybe it is an electronic device that's the solution. Maybe it is having a police officer there more often that's the solution. We're willing to listen and try, but we can't tell somebody we're not putting a petition on because we agree or disagree. That would not be doing our job. So I just want everybody to understand, we're all here, we're all spending our time here, we're doing the best we can, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Okay, so we're on, you?
Madam Chair, prior to doing so, we do have two folks raising their hand remotely for this particular item. The first person is Brenda Hagan.
Oh, okay, great, okay.
Hi, Brenda Hagan of Schaffner Street. There is a lot of traffic on the street. It is a cut-through street. I walk my dog frequently and I see a lot of speeding. There are children on the street, small children playing. There are children walking to school. There's a lot of traffic going in and out of this road. And like I said, it is a cut-through. So I got 11 people to sign my petition. They were very willing to on the street. Everyone's noticed that the speed is extreme, and that's my request. So I'm in favor of it.
Thank you.
I'm also Victor Imperato of Schaffner Street. Brenda and I live together here. There's people that fly down this road. Again, I don't know if speed bumps are the solution. I am in favor for it, just to slow people down so they don't kill one of the kids that they play in the street. Children play in the street, and I'm always in my yard, and I step off the sidewalk. I'm afraid to get hit, honestly. So we are for it, but if there are alternate solutions, we are very open to that. And if the city decides something else, that would be great. But the speed has to come down. And thank you for my other neighbors' opinions. You know, we live in America and everybody should have their say. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next person I can identify is Rena Grasso. Just sent a request for Rena's on mute.
Yes, so thank you for hearing this issue. You know, I have lived on this street for 23 years. I have had 2 animals hit by cars on this street. You couldn't have an animal on the street because of what we face. And as other people have said, we have a convergence of factors here. We have so much traffic on this street because, you know, you can say it's a cut through, but you don't understand what that means unless you see that we have people coming from all the way over from Belmont, coming up and then coming up Uxbridge Street, which they fly up, and they fly up Uxbridge Street. Even with speed bumps, they fly up. And I watched them come to the stop sign, which abuts to Schaffner Street. They don't stop at the stop sign, and then they speed up the street. And this is also a street that is very narrow, and we have a lot of parking problems here because we've got a lot of renters, and one side of the street is always parked up. People lose their side mirrors. I have the history of this street. I've lived here. I have walked my dogs here. I see what people do. And not only do they speed, but they sit on their phones. They're talking on their phones. They're texting on their phones, which is another safety issue here. We really need, I have come to the council twice in the past asking for changes in the structure, in the connections of the street. I've actually asked for things to be made one way so that we don't have everybody coming up Lincoln, taking a turn on our street during rush hour traffic, and coming down Uxbridge the other way. this to me is a no-brainer. We need to have a way to control both.
Thank you, Rena.
Okay, thank you for hearing.
Thank you.
Thank-
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the next item is Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests installation of speed humps on Melrose Street.
Okay, come on up.
Madam Chair, Councilor Bergman, thank you for giving me a chance to speak. Councilor Carlson, thank you for your support. My name is Dennis Leary. I live at 14 Melrose Street, also known as Melrose Speedway. Melrose Street is approximately 1,200 feet long, runs from Lower Burncoat to Lincoln Street. And folks are coming off 290 as well as Burncoat Street. Melrose is a two-lane street going one way. And without exaggeration, the average speed is 40 to 50 miles an hour most of the day and night. Do I think that the speed bump would be worth looking into? Yes, I do. So I favor at least the installation of temporary speed humps so that we can get a sense of would they be effective. And maybe time will tell if they would be. And I don't know if I could ask a quick question through the chair of the commissioner. With a street roughly 1,000 feet long, how many speed bumps typically would be installed over that length of road?
Commissioner?
Through the chair. So given that it's a stoplight control at either end of the street, it would probably be 2, maybe 3 speed humps along the length of that segment.
Thanks.
We typically space them. I'm sorry?
Councilor Bergman, did you want to ask a question?
Unintentionally Mr. Raleigh was finishing, and I didn't want to interrupt him. My apologies.
Okay.
I'm all set, thank you.
I did have a question, though.
Yes.
So I fill in, and I've been on this committee in the past, and I have a clear recollection of Mr. Leary coming before Traffic and Park a number of years ago.
Right.
And the request at the time was for a traffic study in his neighborhood. So I was just wondering, because we've heard other people ask, can we do a traffic study? I'm wondering if that ever happened. So I don't know if the commissioner can respond, or maybe Mr. Leary knows the answer.
I don't know the answer myself.
But wasn't there a request for
Yeah,
one?
there was a request. Yeah, we had a temporary, speed flashing your speed limit kind of sign.
And that was
too.
about 4 years ago. I
Roughly,
think.
yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Through the chair, I'm not aware of any study being conducted there, so I don't believe it has.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your help.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
Madam Chair, thank you. Paul Reith from Schaffner Street again in Worcester. I'd like to ask the commissioner, when he said 3 on that street, if you've installed 60, what is the average cost of these speed humps? Because in the reports that I've read of yours, I do not see the cost, because you're talking about the radar speed signs, and I've seen them. I have friends that work in construction. They can be anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000, and I'm
Okay,
curious what the cost of that is.
Commissioner, do you have an approximation of what a temporary speed hump would be?
So, Madam Chair, so different answer through the chair, different answer for each type of speed hump. With the temporary speed humps, there's an upfront capital cost in terms of purchasing the speed humps. And then there's an annual cost involved in installing or removing those. So that ends up being, over the life of the speed hump, we don't know exactly how long these are going to last now. We're in our 5th year. Most of the sets are still in good shape, so I'm expecting we'll get, 6 to 8 years out of each temporary speed hump. That ends up being, Todd, I'm going to actually look to you for the costs on the temporary speed humps, because I know you ordered them most recently. So while Todd's looking that up, I'll go to the permanent speed humps. So the permanent speed humps get bid out once per year. And the cost that we get back on the low bid is the low responsive bid depends on a number of factors. It depends on how many we're installing. It depends on price of asphalt and other materials. Typically, that's on the order of $5,000 to $7,000 per speed hump is what we found.
Okay, thank you.
I will say that while Todd's looking up the costs on the temporary speed humps, We do know that the permanent speed humps are more cost-effective in the long run. So in a location where we know that it's effective and is well-received, that's something that we do want to shift over to the permanent speed humps as quickly as we can, because there is that recurring cost on the temporary ones of installing and removing them every year.
Thank you. Okay.
Madam Chair, if I could, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but on those speed monitor signs, the ones that are pole mounted, those average between $5,000 and $6,000. That's the ones that are up on the poles. The trailers are a lot more expensive, and they can go up to towards $10,000. We do have 5 pole mounted currently, but there is a subscription fee for us that we have to pay every single year to have the data collected off of them. So that's where we're at right now. Is we do have 5 pole mounted, and then we usually have 5 trailers. The problem with the trailers is, of course, in inclement weather, they have to come off the road.
Thank you. Councilor Bergman.
Just, I don't want to belabor this. Inflation probably hasn't hit this yet, because I recall those numbers too. Probably the cost is comparable, but I know 5,000 to 10,000 is that number on the speed monitors. So through the chair, who just answered the Sergeant Foley? Could you ask through the chair? I'll ask Sergeant Foley. Do you know how many pole mounted and mobile speed monitors the city of Worcester owns?
So in the police department, we have 5 actual pole mounted radar signs, and then we have 5 trailers. Out of the 5, we usually deploy 3 of them. 2 of them are kind of old and antiquated, so we'll be looking to see if we can purchase more. But again, they're not cheap. And the other thing, like I said, is we got to pull them off the road during inclement weather. The other issue, of course, is batteries, the longevity of these batteries. These batteries do die over time. So it's a matter of purchasing new batteries and trying to keep them replenished. And then somebody's got to go out and keep replacing the batteries on them, because they do die rather quickly, especially in the colder weather. But like I said, 5 pole mounts is what we have currently, and then we have 5 trailers, with 3 of them usually getting deployed. That's where we're currently at.
No, thank you. So just my final comment is, I wish there was a magic formula for this. There's 300 plus miles of roads in the city of Worcester. We have 5 pole mounted and 5 mobile ones. I mean, there's no magical formula for this. Again, just going to repeat, we're all here doing the best we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so are we on V now?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes. V reads, Robert Bellotta requests installation of a speed hump in the vicinity of 47 Stanton Street.
Okay, anybody here for Stanton Street? Come on up. State your name and city of residence.
Hi, my name is Ruth Torres. I'm part of the administration of the 23 Stanton, the church. I think we don't need the bump speed over there, because it's going to be a chaos. Because imagine in winter is no plow very well. So I don't know if we don't need to go against to the bump speed, because we don't have any problem over there with the speed limit.
So you're opposed to it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the same address. My name is Carlos Allende. And the only reason I want to speak a little bit is because in this 47 Stanton Street, it's a big hill. I'm against that and a big hill. Because in the winter time, even with no bump speed, the people don't go out and then go down and get hit the cars and have to rush to go to the top. Because the city of Worcester don't clean those roads the way they're supposed to. So I'm against 2 permanent one, but I'm okay with in the summertime with a removable one. Because in the summertime, that's where the speed is. The people speeding there. I agree that. I agree for that. But now to have it permanent, because then people live there, pay big rent to go up in the hill. Now everybody got a 4x4, and city don't clean. So what are we going to do about it? It's not only our street. It's a street like those big hills around Worcester. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else on this item?
Madam Chair, no one's raising their hands.
Okay, so can we read W?
W reads, Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson on behalf of Maria Sanchez requests installation of speed humps on Barnes Ave.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Donna Goranson. I live in Worcester. I have been a resident of Barnes Ave for 45-plus years. It is a dead-end street with 3 apartment buildings at the top. And over those 45 years, the speed has gone up exponentially. I don't know why, but they race up doing 40, 45 miles an hour to the apartments, and then they race down to the stop sign at West Boylston Street. I like the comments about what other options there could be, but I would like a speed hump to be considered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It looks like there's a couple folks raising their hands.
Oh, wait a minute, we have somebody else to come to the podium.
Sorry.
One more voice.
That's okay.
Thank you, Madam, for the opportunity to speak. I also live on Barnes Ave now. I've always been over on Holden Street near the lake, which is a much bigger road, and never have had any concern with traffic. But Barnes Ave is a dead end. I think I'm hard of hearing, so maybe I'm repeating what Donna said. But Barnes Ave is a short road off of West Boylston Street that dead ends at the top of the hill with a 24-unit apartment building. So instead of just living on a quiet side street, it really is a run-through, and it starts out flat and then goes up. And not to be particular, but I think perhaps some of our younger folks think that's a good way to zip up to the top and end up in their parking lot up there. But it's really egregious in the city, and I certainly am in full agreement with Donna that some people don't like the stops, but I think we need one there at least for a while to encourage people to the reality of slow down. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anybody on virtual?
Madam Chair, thank you. We do. The first person listed's name is Scott. If you could just provide your full name, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
My name is James Forbes. I live at 21 Barnes Ave. This has been an ongoing issue for about 30 years. I'm totally for it.
Okay. Thank you.
And then the next person, it looks like it only lists their phone, which is a Samsung SM. I just sent a request to unmute.
Can you hear me?
We can, yes, if you could please provide your name.
Hi, I'm Karen Forbes. I live at 21 Barnes Ave, and the traffic is horrible here. My dog got hit, my car got hit. I have grandchildren that live right next door. They walk their dog. I have a special needs child that he needs assistance to the car to get his transportation. It's just, they race up to get to their apartment building, and they race down to get to a stop sign. I've called the trafficking many, many times, the cops, and nothing gets done. So I am totally for the speed hump. You can put it right in front of my house, 21 Barnes Ave. I'll be happy to have it.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, that's everyone on that one that I can see.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now X. If you can read X.
Of course. 3X reads, Councilor Candy Merrill Carlson requests installation of speed humps on Frothingham Road.
Come on up.
Apologize for being old and slow. That's redundant, isn't it? Joseph Trent, Worcester, Massachusetts, Frothingham Road, which is where I live. First off, thank Mr. Leary because he lives on Melrose, which is adjacent to our street. We intersect. Also, as an aside, the digital signs are a good idea. They're expensive, but I think they're a good idea because I myself, on a street, and you don't realize sometimes how fast you're going. You see it flash, you go, ooh, so you slow down. I'm for these speed humps simply because where we are, Frothingham Road, Britton Square, where Lincoln and Burncoat split off, we are the first side street. Burncoat, there's a little hook off Melrose Street, but we're basically the first side street off of Burncoat and Lincoln Street. We're very residential, and everybody thinks we're a nice cut-through. The problem is, they cut through at an excessive rate of speed, and actually, they end up causing a good deal of traffic congestion on a very, very residential street. We also have young people on the street, and we have students. We're near 2 schools, so we have students who use the street on a regular basis during the school year. And the drivers, as I say, we tell them so often, we're out there in the street, the neighbors, and these people come barreling through there. Matter of fact, I had a personal experience just this past week. As I'm pulling out, I'm driving down my street. Someone came up behind me and is tailgating me on this little residential street. I thought he was going to end up in my trunk. So this is nothing new, and other residents, my neighbors, can testify to this. Now, how soon will through the chair, how soon will the speed bumps be installed if we get that?
So the process is, this is the first step for public comments. Now, what they'll do is, between Candy, Merrill Carlson, and the commissioner, they'll compile a list of potential speed hump areas that they can focus on for 2026. And then what they'll do is they'll decide, well, we have enough money in the budget for an extra, whatever, 2, 4, 6 each district, and then they will decide on which ones that it's their priority. And those that don't get okayed this round will still remain on the list for the next year. So you can just keep in contact with your counselor, and she can let you know if your street has been accepted.
So we're talking 2026 in the spring at the earliest, before we see anything, and
Right,
it'll be a
right, yeah, 'cause-
temporary.
So this is we're doing it this time of year, Joe, because
Yeah.
we get all the public input, so then it
Yeah.
goes to the next step. So by time they make the decision around January, then they start to get the funding and implement and do whatever.
And this will be a temporary hump, not a permanent hump, right?
I believe.
Okay. And as one of the ladies said, very personal, I do have 2 driveways. I would not want to see a hump at the end of one of my driveways. If you're asking where I'd want it installed, I'd want it installed near the end of the street so that these people are immediately slowed down. So they realize they have to slow down.
Okay,
That's
thank
where I
you.
would install that.
Good point.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and I think that's it. Thank you,
Thank you.
Councilor Carlson, for stepping up for your district. And I thank you, Councilor Colorio and Councilor Bergman. And I thank everyone else who's here, and I thank my fellow citizens who was the room left. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you,
Do we have
Madam Chair.
anybody
Looks like
remotely?
We have a couple folks. The first person is Joe Rodriguez. I just sent a request to unmute Joe. See, not hearing from Joe. The next person I can identify is Mike King. Just sent a request to unmute Mike.
Mike, come on, Mike lives across the street from me.
Mike is unmuted, but I'm not hearing him. The next person I can identify is Vernon and Kathy. I just sent a request for Vernon and Kathy to unmute.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Do you want to state your name and your full name and your city of residence, and you're either for or against the item?
Kathy Boylan, 10 Frothingham Road. I live diagonal across from Joe, and we definitely need a speed hump. We have little kids, including Miss Cora King up the street, and people do go flying through, especially on Fridays, but they do go flying through. And I see people walking, and the other day I was just walking, and I always go slow around the corner from Melrose, and this kid was just walking in the middle of the road. So we really just need some speed humps anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it looks like Joe just tried to reconnect, so we'll just try Joe Rodriguez one more time.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Hi, my name's Jill Rodriguez. I reside in the corner of Oran and Frothingham. Although I live on Oran, my garage is on Frothingham. I didn't get a message or anything to notify me in regards to this meeting, but I heard from the neighbors. But to be fair, to growing neighbors and car enthusiasts in this neighborhood, I am only for the speed humps as long as they're being installed from 1 to 21 Frothingham Road, simply because there are major speeding issues here, from drivers cutting through from Lincoln Street, going onto Oran, not stopping at Oran, going onto Frothingham Road just to get back into Lincoln Street again. This is daily, and it's a real issue. It's a main cut through, especially during rush hour. Secondly, there's also kids walking back and forth from school. It's a main school route for all the kids that are coming here, especially from Burncoat. And it does not stop these cars whatsoever. My daughter was almost hit by it once before. We just don't bother staying in the streets or even being close to the streets because they don't stop. I also have a vehicle that's also low. This is why I say 1 to 21 Frothingham Road, is because one of my vehicles would not be able to come off onto the road if it was to block the other half of Frothingham onto Oran. There's other car enthusiasts here in the neighborhood on Oran that also have very low vehicles. But we are considering, having that being installed from 1 to 21 would probably help the speeding situation. I'm more than willing to
Thank you. Thank
gather.
you, Jill.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, do we have anybody else virtual?
Madam Chair, it does look like Mike King tried to reconnect again as well. Just sent a quick request for Mike to unmute.
Oh, can you?
Can you hear us?
We can, yes.
Thank you. Hi, I'm here with my wife, Mike King, 14 Frothingham Road. Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate what Joe said and Kathy and Joannie. It's a bad situation here. I think they've said enough, but I'm definitely for the speed bumps. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Y.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Y reads, Tracy Talamini requests installation of speed humps between 148 and 156 Orient Street.
We have nobody for this item?
Looks like we have two folks remotely. The first
Okay.
person is Julie Casenza. Just sent a request to unmute Julie.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi there. I live on 148 Orient Street and I am firmly against these. We already have 2 permanent ones. They're about a quarter-mile apart, and that one would be right in the middle of them. There are not hardly any kids in this area, this exact area where the speed bumps are. And it just seems unnecessary and wasteful.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, the next person I can identify is Ron Brown. Just sent a request for Ron to unmute.
Good evening, thank you. I'd like to agree with Julie in pretty much everything she said. There's 2 that are very close together. This would split those 2. It's unnecessary. I understand the necessity for this on this road. People cut through from Grafton Street to Plantation Street fairly often, and the speed control is good, but it's a little excessive. And as Julie said, most of the kids are further down the hill toward Grafton Street anyway. I just don't think it's the location. And frankly, I question the timing of the installation as well. Like the quality come springtime of these speed humps are going to be abysmal, not to mention the quality of the plow on the road. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, are we on Z?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, 3Z reads Jose Otero requests installation of speed humps on Eastern Ave.
Okay,
Good evening. My name is Federico Castro from 125 Eastern Ave. I'm for it. We live in a very popular area. very narrow street, cars zoom by. We definitely need speed bumps.
Okay.
Yes, good evening. My name is Jose Otero. I live on 123 Eastern Ave. Our street is very populated. It's thickly settled. There's 3 deckers. There's a park. We've got Memorial Hospital on one side. We have City View School on the other side. In the middle, we have Laurel Street. There's a park there. There's kids playing there all through. People, motorcycles, cars, speed through there constantly, 7 days a week. I understand that some areas might not need it, but even if we get temporary ones to start so you can monitor this, it would be helpful, because my daughter's car's been hit, my neighbor's car's been totaled, and they just don't stop. Just last year, there was a car that flipped, hit my neighbor's truck, flipped over, and all 4s up in the air. They take off, and don't even say, or leave a note or anything. But it's so much to school, and kids are constantly on that street. It is very populated, 3 deckers all through from Belmont Street, to City View. It is a very populated area, and it's really necessary there, I think, and my neighbors do too.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Edwin Rivera. I live on 127 Eastern Ave, and I agree with what Jose Otero says and Freddy Castro. And there's too many accidents on that street because people just coming down like too fast and hit and run, and then too crazy. I see too many accidents from my driveway because people like sleeping and then just hit the car and just get there. And then, yeah, I agree about the speed hump.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anybody virtual? Oh, we have one person, okay?
Yeah, my name is Whit McDonis. I live in the corner of Eastern Ave and 63 Elliott Street, and I agree with my neighbors. City View School's there, and then I always see a lot of people going up and down, and I agree with a temporary, to have something temporary in the summertime, a bump. For the reason that there's a lot of people just speed down there, like if it's Belmont Street, or people go really fast down the hill. Betty Price Park is at the end of that street, so there's always a lot of kids in that area walking up and down. It's very popular with a lot of kids, especially when the school buses during the school year. And I've seen a lot of, there's been accidents actually on Eastern Avenue going down towards Betty Price Park, many accidents in the history of that area. So I thank for you guys listening to my comments, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It does appear one person is raising their hand. Marcio Mello just sent a request to unmute. Marcio? Marcio just unmuted themselves. Could you just state your name now? All right, appears to be having some audio issues. Let's see here. The next petition, 3AA, Robert Bellotta, requests installation of speed humps in the vicinity of 85 Merrifield Street. I do know that the person, I believe it was 4559, called in earlier for that, so I'll try to unmute them now. Hello, 4559.
Yes, it's me, Mario Martellata, Merrifield Street, Worcester, Mass. The reason I'm calling, because I live in the same area that the gentleman just talked about off the Eastern Ave. I live on Merrifield Street, and we need some speed bumps up here. Plus, there's a school here, all right? In noontime, 2 o'clock, this street is chaos, okay? You can't come up the street or go down the street. But we need a police here. We need someone from the city council come here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and see what this is like. If an ambulance or a fire truck had to go through here, they would never make it. I don't know why they didn't make the schoolyard bigger so they can pull buses in and cars in so they don't congest Murfield Street.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Let me receive the letter.
And Madam Chair, looks like the last one was another petitioner for Schaffner Street, Councilor Merrill Carlson on behalf of Diane Driscoll, which I know was discussed earlier as well. And that would bring us to the conclusion of those petitions.
And then we have, oh yeah, because that's Schaffner Street, BB.
Yeah, but it does appear 2 additional folks have raised their hand. I'm not sure if they had additional testimony on this one, but I'll try and go to them now. Looks like Michael Marin. I just sent a request to unmute.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Thank you, sir. So, good evening, Madam Chair, board members. Michael Marin. I reside in Auburn, Massachusetts, but I was born and raised, and I own 91, 93, and 95, 97 Merrifield, 2 multifamilies right next door that abut 95. And so I appreciate the comments from Mario earlier. Certainly a traffic issue and heavily congested based on being a multifamily neighborhood that has a school on it. Certainly a speeding issue up on the street at various times as well. I am for this petition, certainly for the speed bumps. Some of the earlier comments this evening I thought were quite valid, particularly with regard to the maintenance on a speed bump with the plowing. So I don't know the mechanics of that, if the plows rip them up, if there's a maintenance issue, or what the history is. And I don't know if anyone can speak to that directly, because I would be concerned about the constant maintenance on what a plow does to these speed bumps. But I can certainly validate that there's a speeding issue on the Hill. I would certainly be for this petition or any other remedy that would look into speed control in that area. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. And I do appreciate the thoughtful work that you all are doing on these topics.
Thank you.
And let's see here. Then I see Pablo Santiago. I just sent a request to unmute Pablo.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Pablo Di Santiago. I am a resident of Merrifield Street and a property owner of said since 2008, and I am in favor of this petition. However, I would like to add a recommendation for consideration. Merrifield Street serves as an access way from Belmont Street to Eastern Ave area, and it's separated by Elliott Street. My recommendation is pertaining to the lower side of Merrifield Street. As you know, we have 2 schools. In the top section, we have Belmont, and then on the bottom, towards Eastern Ave, we have City View. It is a throughway for traffic and for children. And I feel that where a speed bump on Upper Merrifield Street would be warranted, we should also consider one on the lower side of Merrifield Street, particularly around 34 to 35 in that area. I think would be the midpoint and would be the most effective. Just to conclude, some of the points I would like to present here today is that Merrifield Street, the bottom end, is a much wider street than a typical back street in the city. As I mentioned, it is a walkway for school children back and forth from both schools, and that happens on a daily basis. We have a significant number of pets in the area, and also it's mostly 2 to 3 family units, so it's highly traveled location. So with that being said, again, I am in favor of this petition, but I would like consideration for a speed bump on the lower side of Merrifield Street. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It appears that is all the yeah, that's all the folks. So that would conclude those petitions.
So we just have 4A. Could you read that, please?
Transmitting informational communication relative to 25 speed hump installations.
I think we've already, if I'm correct, we've already talked about the speed hump installations. Anything else you want to add, Commissioner, or do you think we're all set?
Madam Chair, I don't have anything to add unless either of the members have questions.
I'm all set.
And Madam Chair, I'm assuming, would you like to hold this over for the other speed hump hearings for the other districts? You could hold 4A and then place on file all the petitions?
That's fine. So I'll make a motion to file 3A to Z, 3AA to BB, and to hold 4A. Roll call, please.
Councilors Bergman?
Yes.
King? And Chairperson Councilor Calorio.
Yes, that brings us to the end of the meeting. I want to thank my colleagues, Mo Bergman, Candy Merrill Carlson, and the commissioner, and everyone that's, stayed with this meeting. It was a good meeting, got a lot of good input, and I'm grateful for the residents that came out tonight to voice their opinion. Thank you.